Hello, everyone. Here I have a new Nautilus, Jeff's Nautilus. Finally, I'll start by let's see. Okay, so for a long time, I always tried to name every one of my guitars, and I realized it was too much, because I wanted each of them to have, not just some stupid name. So I stopped naming guitars unless they name themselves, and this guitar named itself, and not necessarily not a stupid name, by the way. In fact, the more I think about it, the stupider I think it is. And Jeff, you are under no obligation to keep this name. But this guitar is bound in ebony with a single line of lapis blue binding. And the cool thing about this is that on first looking at it, the black kind of just eats the blue up. But when you rotate it through light, you see that blue jump out. And so I was thinking about that, and I thought of it as this Lapis Flash. And so I've named this guitar the Lapis Flash, which I totally realize it sounds like a third-rate DC Comics, like junior varsity superhero, but the lapis, the subtlety of it, I find very pleasing, because I love the things that you don't see on the first viewing. I like the idea that a guitar, some piece of work that you've done, has more to it than meets the eye immediately, visually as well as sonically. So this guitar kind of does both those things. It's got this super subtle blue purfling, and it's simply appointed, but it's got really snazzy woods. We've got Italian bear claw spruce on the top, and the back and sides are flitch matched Brazilian rosewood. And flitch matched means that it comes from subsequent slices out of the same board. So when you have flitch matching, you have a perfect match, and that's a rare thing, and very nice to have. It also has this really beautiful piece of sap wood in it. Sometimes a set is big enough where you can cut the sapwood out, and sometimes you have to use it. In this case, I had to use it because the set wasn't big enough to not use it. But I think I used it to nice effect because it was on the sides as well. So I brought those together there on the back. And also it has, like, the sapwood in certain species can be kind of pithy. This is not. Like, it's just as hard as the rest of the guitar. So this is, to me, like one of the prettiest guitars I cannot get through a video without using some kind of superlative. I realize that. So just imagine that each time I say it, I mean it. Because I do. Like, I love the guitar I'm working on. I always have the most affection in the world for the guitar I'm working on at the moment. And this just may be the prettiest guitar I've ever made. It is so everything I wanted to be able to make when I started out making guitars. And I'd like to thank Jeff and everybody else, by the way, all of my customers who have to wait. Jeff ordered this in 2022 at Woodstock, I believe. That's a long wait. I realize that. I've got a long line of customers, and I'm trying to keep it down somewhat in the reasonable, you'll see it in your lifetime span, and be accurate with my estimation. I was only off by 2 months, by the way, on this one, which I think in the world of lutherie is pretty close to punctual. I think this guitar has a wonderful sound. It has a ton of... It's not like it's bass heavy, but it has... Brazilian always imparts this set of overtones, quality of overtones that will make a note. Maybe it's not increased in decibels, but it's increased in density, and it's increased in spectrum. So I always feel like there's something about Brazilian rosewood that gives a guitar a spectral feel, like there's sound information that's happening above our hearing and below our hearing, and we're just the hearing that we have is just saturated with sound. I'll play one more thing here, and I hope I can play this well. This was a song that I wrote, by the way, just to sort of show off sustain. So if you ever want to listen to these on headphones, it might do you well. This doesn't have a name. It just goes like this. This is an instrument I can just get lost in. It's actually only been strung up for maybe 5 or 6 days now, maybe a week, I don't know. So the transformation that it will go through over the next year or so has just begun. I recently got to go to the last big guitar festival in Texas, where I got to see a number of my Kama guitars from as far back as 6 years. And they just the thing that happens to guitars as they age is just undeniable. It's such a cool thing. I get to see one that my guitars are not falling apart, which is very gratifying and relieving for me. But more important, no, less importantly, but very importantly, they are maturing in sound in ways that I could only have hoped for. I played a little Aram there, Al's Aram, that was, I think, 3 years ago. I sold it to him, Brazilian and Adirondack, and it sounded good, but it was tight. I mean, it definitely had the sound of a 14-inch guitar, and I got to play it this time, and it was just like, it blew my mind. I'm like, I can't believe I built this thing. Like, there's what I do, and then there's special sauce that comes from somewhere else. So, that's going to happen to this one too, because it's got the same sort of combination of woods, except we got Italian instead of Adirondack. And I kind of forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, there's one other thing. So Jeff asked me to do this treatment, which he saw on a guitar by Rosie at Turnstone Guitars, which is these fret markers that go over both faces. You know, that they're on the edge as a marker and on the top as a marker. I didn't want to totally rip her off. I always feel uncomfortable about that, but I took the idea and we went with using fossil walrus ivory for the nut and saddle and for these little markers. And I'm kind of like, I've got my way, and it's hard for me to go, okay, I'll take instructions. But I did it, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And it's kind of exciting for me because, I build very, how can we say this? I build the same guitar over and over again with very, very small internal changes. I change one thing at a time. So even to do this thing, cosmetic change, makes it kind of exciting to me. Also, the little diamond, my Guga there at the top, is also made out of fossil walrus ivory. Anyway, I think that's all I got to say, which is probably way more than enough. But Jeff, here it comes. Thank you so much for ordering the guitar, trusting me to deliver it after, the 3 years that we talked about. It's a long time to wait for something. And I sincerely hope that this meets your expectations. I think it will. I'm super pleased with it. So thank you very much, everyone. Talk to you soon.